Hello and welcome to the ORCA pod. We are here talking about Canberra 3, Canberra versus the world. More like Canberra versus New South Wales. Anyway, Canberra versus the world. Here we're going to be doing a live draft. I'm very excited after a year of looking at prior seasons on this podcast. We're finally getting some new content. I couldn't be more excited. And joining me is one of my regular ORCA pod co-host, Dani. Welcome to the show, Dani.
Oh, hey, I'm loving the intro music. I was doing a little jig to myself while that started. That was fun.
Bit of whale song. You can hear a blowhole in there if you listen carefully. Thank you, Thank you. Props go out to whoever I stole that off YouTube, who posted 11 years ago. And I'm sure when they posted 11 years ago, they were thinking about exactly this content.
Exactly this moment.
Their music part of the ORCA pod. We already have some people joining live. Leah joined before the show started on YouTube. For those that don't want to support Mark Zuckerberg,
and Facebook. Yeah, she is on Facebook too.
She's back on Facebook, even though she could also be on YouTube. Aston is here as well, a regular Canberra commentator. Of course, Aston from Canberra season 1. I am so excited for the new content. I'm so excited to get into this draft, Dani. How excited are you?
I am pumped. I am not like for this, just for the run that we're about to have of new LRGs, the new people that are going to come into our community. I'm loving it. I'm so excited.
Mel is also here, maybe broadcasting, watching from the Northern Territory. She just finished her 6-month trip in WA, and she also, of course, Mel, famous for her position at Canberra Survivor 2. Aston wants to know where's Jules at. Unfortunately, Jules has a migraine. I'm devastated by this news. I'm sure all of our viewers are. I'm sure you are, Dani. But she has provided her picks, and we will be inputting them into the coverage to make sure that we have a fair position for picks and going forward, because we're going to build in a very complicated points system, and the winner will be deemed the supreme ORCA of the season between yourself and
Supreme ORCA. I'm going to need to put that as like my title at the bottom, Supreme ORCA.
And the others need to take us out to dinner or something. Whatever. I don't know.
In all the states that we're in.
Doing a situation where, yes, we'll make it work. Uber Eats something to my house. The way it's going to, because I'm going to win this. The way we'll score it is if you pick the first boot, then you get 1 point. If you get the winner, you get 16 points. Very simple like that. But if your first boot, say, got idled out and there was only one vote against them, you would actually get an additional 7 points. So the votes that weren't cast on them in the tribal, you will get. And then equally at the final, you get the amount of votes that your player gets given by the jury. So, it's going to be complicated, but, I like complicated countdowns. I don't like simple countdowns. So let's go. Now, to make this very fair, to make sure to make sure it's all fair, we will be putting up a random generator. Oh, just give me 1 second here. Oh, here it is. I'll be putting in the names, Jules, CK, Dani, and let's randomize it. It's given. Did it do anything? Yes, it did. It put me in third. Okay. Stay tuned, people, in the comments, because we've got a fun thing for you guys coming up when we get to the 7th pick. But we have determined that you will have the first pick, or Jules will have the first pick. And with that in mind, who did she want to pick for this one?
Jules has selected Sabrina as her first pick.
Do you want to talk about Sabrina on Jules's behalf?
Yeah. So she's given me little notes for everybody. She was yes. So Sabrina describes herself as active and artsy, who wants to make a majority alliance with one core person. If she chooses right, then that will obviously take her far. She loves strategic board games and wants to look for idols when the time is right. Jules says she has winner energy.
What did I like about Sabrina? So this is a riveting article on my phone.
Yeah, I'm in mine too.
I think she's going to connect in well with Andrew. Simply
because the economics of the two of them.
The economics, and she would like to go to Egypt, and Andrew has been tear gassed in Egypt. So much in common already. I think they're going to hit it off.
Yeah, I think so too.
All right. For your first pick, who would you like, Dani?
My first pick,
Mel is also a fan of Sabrina.
My first pick, I would like Bethany, please. Flexible, easygoing queen who biggest enemies would describe as fake Two-Face and a cockroach. I thought that was a fun description. I think she's planning to lean into the Kiwi of it all. I just loved that she's expecting us to bring bad bitch energy. She doesn't like men or being told what to do, and that was just total vibe for me.
It is a vibe, but is this a winning strategy? Are you trying to pick a winner here, or are you trying to pick?
She's my first pick. I just couldn't go past her. I understand the concept of a draft, but I love it. I love it.
Okay. Look, I don't know if this is a sensible pick, to be perfectly honest, but I cannot go into this season not having Andrew on my team. Andrew, the only returning player here, the absolute star, the ORCA award winner, and basically every other award of Backyard 3. He was the entire show. He was such incredible content from moment 1 to the end. Now, I feel like he got a pretty good run at Backyard that somehow, it worked for him. And I really think it could have not worked for him if he was in the wrong circumstances. So I am slightly concerned that perhaps, these are going to be those wrong circumstances. And we may see him not do as well as he did on Canberra. Sorry, my screen's gone all funny. I'm just really struggling with the layout. I really feel that he might have some problems in terms of just the sort of character he is. He's big. He's strong in his gameplay. He likes to play hard. He likes people to follow him. And he managed to get a lot of followers. And I'm not so certain that with this cast, he will be able to get that. A lot of strong-minded people. But I am also of the very strong view, and I'll get into this into my next pick in a moment, you'll see, that I think the Yellow Tribe, the Canberra Tribe, are going to dominate early. I feel that Dan has particularly rigged this contest to ensure that Canberra is the winner. There is a Canberra winner, not someone from New South Wales, aka the world. It will be someone from Canberra. And I say that, and I say because if you lined up, look, I don't know what sort of challenges Dan has in play, but even if you go back to the most recent season, the challenges were strong. They did have elements of strength and skill. And the men on the Yellow Tribe, the Canberra Tribe, really line up strongly compared to the men on the Blue Tribe, in my view. And then the women on the Yellow Tribe are also incredibly sporty and strong across the board. So I just feel that the Yellow are going to be not going to tribal a lot. So with that in mind, I was happy to pick Andrew. And then with my turnaround pick, I'm going with Ed. Ed had, in my view, the absolute best video.
I loved Ed's video.
I love he's just got that like happy Labrador energy.
Yes. Yes.
I think people are not going to take him too seriously, though I think that he has the chops to play more seriously later. I think he's going to be seen as a bit of a funny goofball to begin with. And, he's obviously going to assist in the challenges. He's very physically commanding, that he's going to be he's got the right vibes of, I think he's good at getting the challenges. He's going to be really social and fun, and I think he's going to be underestimated. I think people are going to think of him as a bit of a dumb sort of jock Labrador vibe, but I think he's actually got more skills than that. So I've gone back to back. Andrew, who I look, it could go either way, but I can't not have him for the ride. And then Ed, I think, has great potential. The only thing that's going to doom Ed is, final 6, final 5, they're going to be like, this guy's too nice. We just can't let him get to it. It's going to be a Matty P situation. We can't let this guy get to the end. Everyone's going to vote for him.
Everyone's going to love him. Yeah, big time. Yeah, so I'm a little devastated because he was my next pick. So that's...
I've sniped you, have I?
You sniped me. That was my next pick.
All right. Well, I get to enjoy Ed, and I'm going to enjoy him thoroughly.
And I'm
Are you
sure
laughing
he'll
at that or my
enjoy you
photo that
enjoying
I've got with this very strong mustache? If I could fix my screen, it would be wonderful. But I don't know if I can. If I just do this, give me a second. I hope I don't drop out too much.
Oh, good. Oh, so I'm going to vamp here for a little bit because CK is gone. This cast is a real mix. I'm loving the characters that we've got. Here he comes. There he is back. I don't have to vamp any longer. Just talking about this cast. It's a real mix of ages and demos. But there's a lot of teachers.
That's a lot of educators. Absolutely. And speaking of educators, I hope I got that right. Sophie from The Ultimate Sacrifice is here in the chat. Welcome, Sophie. Sophie was a teacher, wasn't she? Or a primary educator? Like, if I got that wrong, I'm sorry, Sophie. I just went for it. But Sophie's here, loving seeing all this Canberra alumni in the chat. We love seeing you. If there's any from the cast here, don't be shy. Reach out. We want to see you. Maybe you should call out, pick me, and maybe we just will. You've told me I sniped Ed from you. Where are you going now for your next pick? Oh, look, I was right. You know, everyone, I love it, Sophie. You know, if there's anything I need, it's more people telling me how good
that he was right. Well done. Yeah. My next pick, I'm staying on the strong female energy. I'm going with Lauren. Lauren, I love the fact that she describes herself as wanting to be a femme fatale of the Jerry Pavati-esque type of player, but also that, like, being a police officer, people, what does she say? People is my job. So I think she'll be able to read people really well, be able to align herself well, and hopefully take that strategy through the game. Excellent.
So Jules has 2 picks now.
All right.
What is she interested in doing?
Her next pick is...
No, just do 1 pick. Sorry, do 1 pick from Jules.
Okay. Jules's next pick is Pauline. She describes her as a fun nerd who knows about queuing. If you research something, it'll annoy you less, which she thought was hilarious. She loves travel and board games. She just loves everything about her energy. I love that. I love that she researched queuing.
Yeah, that was interesting. Aston's called Lauren as the next Scott Skipper because they're cops.
Okay, fair enough. Okay. I was like, that's an interesting
I think comparison. It's still and Mel Sheehan likes that you're on the strong queen's train.
You know it, Mel. I love a strong queen.
What did I think about Lauren while we don't forget Jules things? She likes running. So again, like when people describe one of their likes as liking running, it tells me they're going to be fit and capable, which goes to my very strong, I'm not your pick here, Lauren, a very strong yellow tribe. I love how she wanted to take Boston Rob to dinner. Pauline is on triathlons. Like, see, this is one woman that looks like maybe she's not going to be a physical threat, but then she's on triathlon.
She's an ex-triathlon. She's starting to get back into running. She hasn't done it for quite some time.
But I still think she's going to have a base level of fitness. And I just think this yellow tribe is going to dominate. And look, from the picks so far, we've had 6 picks and 5 have come from the Canberra tribe. So obviously there was a consistent view across us that we were of the view that sorry, I saw that and I've been distracted. That yellow are going to dominate. Lauren, first contestant from she loves Boston Rob. I love Boston Rob.
We love Boston Rob. We're Boston Rob fans. So
you like Boston Rob, Dani? I didn't know this.
I like Boston Rob. Yeah, for sure.
Because some people don't like Boston Rob. They feel he's a bit, too much.
No, I've loved the arc of Boston Rob. Like I loved watching him learn and then just dominate.
He's sort of one of these people that's so loved that even the sort of shit things he said, like in early days, people just sort of gloss past, like don't cancel, like the sort of slightly homophobic stuff he said in the Marquises and the sort of misogynist sort of behavior in All Stars. Everyone's just sort of like, further that way.
Yeah.
It was a different time.
It was.
Yeah.
But Survivor in general at that time was gross and misogynistic and homophobic. So that's not just B-Rob, that was Survivor as a whole.
I adore him. I would love to have dinner with him as well, Lauren. Maybe we could all organise a dinner when I win this and Dani can pay for it.
But speaking of dinners, going back to Pauline, I loved her dinner picks. So that Christian Hubicki and Michelle Fitzgerald. Now, that would be a very, very interesting dinner to be sat at.
I like the people that don't say Survivor players. It doesn't have to be a Survivor player. Be more interesting.
No, it doesn't. But I just thought of the two Survivor players to pick of the world, Christian Hubicki and Michelle Fitzgerald, are very different players, and to be sat at a table with the both of them, I would enjoy that.
Who would you take to dinner?
Oh, that's a good question.
Well, while you're thinking about that, if you can give me the names that are left. Now, because there's 3 of us drafting, we get 5 people each. Obviously, that leaves 1 left over. The person I'm going to plug in here that gets selected by this wheel is the people's champion. The listeners, the commenters at home, I'm explaining it, Mel. The commenters, the listeners at home, anyone like that, this is your player. Whoever we spin now is your player, your champion. And if they win the game, look, I'll beat them to it. If they finish top 3, I will come to Canberra and I'll put on a drinks night for the whole Canberra community, right? If your champion can make the top 3. So, Danny, give me the names of the people that we have not yet selected.
All right, we've got Maddie.
Yep.
Aiden.
Yep.
Anthea.
Great Greek name there. Yep.
Jay.
Anthea. Jay. All right, yep.
Squin.
Yep.
Oscar.
Yep.
Todd,
yep. It's not spinning yet, Mel. Like, come on. I'm inputting the names. It will spin in a moment. Who's next?
John. Amy.
Yep. Amy.
And Eden.
Oh, no, it's not sorry. It's Eden, isn't it? Not Eden.
Eden.
Okay. So the winner of this, whoever this spins up, how do I make it spin? Probably press this button. Whoever this spins up will be the people's champion. If they make the final 3, I will come to Canberra and put on a drinks night for the Canberra community. On me. Shouts on me. Drinks on me. All right? This is your champion. Who are they going to get? Well, that's not what I wanted. Oh, fail. Let's go to that. Yes, apply. Okay. How do we spin it? Maybe this button? There we go.
Hey, here we go.
Eden is the people's champion.
Eden, all right.
I am regretting the drinks offer. I am seriously regretting the drinks offer. I think Eden has a strong chance of being top 5.
Do you?
Yeah. So
okay.
Eden would have been one of my picks. If I get, I'll just get back to the picture. So Eden talks about look, Eden hates men and loves women.
Yes.
And then I look, so he's obviously not going to align with the men of his tribe, who I think are going to get smashed anyway in the challenges. So he's going to be looking to align with the women of his tribe. And then I look at the women of his tribe and I'm like, are these sort of women, based on the small video that I got to watch of them, that are going to align with someone like that when they're looking for the numbers? And I think Bethany, who you've already covered, I think Anthea, I think Squin and Maddie are all going to be in for this. I think that's a 5-person alliance off the bat. And then they roll in numbers down into merge. There's someone from Yellow that's also like a massive Swiftie. Then they start like bonding about Taylor Swift. I think Eden's gone a long way.
A very quick way to make a bond over Taylor Swift.
Yeah. So I am worried about this choice. But Eden is the people's champion. This may come back to haunt me. But, you know, so be it. That we'll see how that plays out. I have to add a picture of The Rock or something to Eden's picture. I felt this was going to be it was definitely my next draft pick if he got back to me. So I am concerned about my drink offer. Anyway.
Well, drinks on CK, absolutely.
The chat's getting excited for this. Aston says he's coming for this. Paragiran. Is this someone from the season? I don't know. What do you think? No, go Eden, Mel, Eden Swift, Aston's happy, drinks on CK. Look, you know, it might not happen.
The people like
obviously, everyone's behind Eden. Okay. All right. Well, who was Jules' next pick now that we've determined the people's champion?
All right. Eden, next pick was Squin.
Oh, damn it.
Was that yours next?
Oh, Squin's great.
Yeah. Podcast about women's basketball, loyal until she betrayed. In brackets, is she a Scorpio? We had that really sweet emotional moment about her dad, which is really beautiful. And she's willing to be assertive when it comes to tribe challenges, wants to be a hero.
Yeah. Squin's video to me was the absolute, just I was already in love with this woman. I want to root for her. I think she's going to do great. She really connected to me in those 5 minutes, which is not something that everyone was easily able to do.
Yes.
In what was a rote question and answer sort of video. What's this? What would you do for that? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It doesn't generally get the best out of anyone. And hers just got really personal and emotional. And if she was able to connect like that to me through the YouTube video that I was watching, months after it was filmed, how she's going to connect amazingly with her tribe mates.
Yes.
She's definitely very athletic. I think she's going to be in a really strong position supporting the tribe. And as I already feel, I think the men other than Eden on this tribe are in a lot of trouble. That's just where my head is at.
Yeah.
And, the chat's going off for Squinny as well. So I think it's in particular. I'm disappointed to have missed out on Squin, if I'm being 100% honest.
Yeah, she wasn't my next, but she was the one after.
Okay, so if Jules didn't pick her here, I was getting her. That would have been a dream start to my picks.
Yeah.
Dream start.
Are you next?
All right, well, who are you going to pick then with your next pick? Who have you got lined up?
My next pick, I'm rolling strong on the women. My next pick is Maddie. I thought she was super social, super bubbly. I think she's going to be well liked. I don't think she's going to put herself out there enough strategically to be seen as too much of a threat. She gives me real Sophie vibes from Canberra. I just think she's going to be really, really popular and just not seen as a strategic threat until she's too deep in the game.
Okay, so I have picks now. This is difficult here, actually. This is going to get a bit more difficult. I just can't pick. I'm sorry, Aiden and Jay and John. I've got a perception of how I think that tribe's going to go, and I cannot pick any of you to survive. And also, I've got two guys already, so I certainly need to bring a woman into my crew, and I'm going to be picking Anthea. I think that she's. Let me just check my notes to make sure I'm referring to the right person. But this has got some danger and some hope. So she's a self-confessed sort of introvert who likes to spend time in her garden and with her close friends and family, is not as interested in meeting new people and being bold. So doing something like this, she mentions as being quite out of her comfort zone. But I think that, she says that she loves smart ladies. She's another person who I think is going to be very keen on this women plus Eden alliance that Eden's going to look together. But I also think with her age, she might be one of the people that can form a connection with John early on as well. And that her strategy is to be friendly. She recognizes that speaking to strangers is not her strength. She's going to push herself through that. And I think we'll be able to come through that and because she'll have the time, I feel, and build loyalty quickly with these other three. In my look, I'm putting a lot of prediction on what Eden's going to pull off here, but I strongly believe this to be. I can see the strategy, I can see it working, and I want to stand by her. And look, also, I've got to do some redemption. When I did my draft order, the elimination order for Canberra, the ultimate sacrifice, I said that Mel was going to go early. It was nothing to do with the wonderful person that Mel is. It was to do with perhaps an older woman being targeted. I was completely wrong. She survived a long time. Maybe that was due to having a super idol gifted to her, or maybe just because who she is. But regardless, she lasts a long time. I'm not going to be going in on that sort of judgmental position. I feel good about Anthea, and I feel really good about her in this pick. I now need to make another pick, and I can't pick a guy from the Well tribe for obvious reasons. So we've got Oscar and Todd. And why don't you tell me a little bit what you think about Anthea, while I look quickly at which of these guys that I prefer?
Look, Anthea wasn't high on my list just due to the fact that I think she will struggle to make connections quickly. And in this group of women plus Eden, I think she may be potentially the odd one out of that. Well, what you would say might be a 5. So yeah, I didn't rate her super highly on my list just based off the fact that I think she'll really struggle to make connections quickly, which is so needed in these type of games. What else did I have for Anthea? But she also considers herself strong in strategy and analytics. So, if she can read the play as well, that will do her handy.
Yeah. I look, I'm not saying it's a slam dunk, but I'm going with my narrative. I'm going to stick to it. I'm all in. No hedging of the bets. I'm going to go now with Amy. Amy's the Swiftie that I mentioned, so I feel that she's the one who's going to bond with Eden. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's at merge, maybe it's at a swap, but I feel like, if she's the one who then is she the Swiftie? I got this wrong.
Yes, she is. Yes, no, she's a Swiftie.
Yeah. I feel like that's when they bond. Eden's going to be looking to make new alliances in the swap or the merge. I feel like if she can't bond with her tribe, she is a chance to be the first to go. But I think she's one of the more interesting people in terms of.
Sorry.
Amy played last season.
She kept calling Anna Amy. That makes me laugh every time. It just leans into the joke.
Well, that's a good memory, Dani, and that's a great one, Mel. Thank you. I feel like I don't exactly know where she's going to fit in this tribe. I feel she's got a chance to be the first one out, but if she's able to build the connections with some of these people, I don't think that will be the case. And I think it'll be a while before they're voting anyone out. It maybe they don't vote anyone out, and she goes into a swap and is then able to build some bonds with maybe Eden and some other people from the other tribe who she has similarities to, if she's not able to connect with the people on her beginning tribe, which she may. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure of the connections there.
Well, she also considers herself to be like a puzzle person. So if she can put herself in a position at those challenges to be a puzzle master, and it's seen as a strength for her tribe, that will keep her handy if no one else wants to put themselves in that position.
She's also a journalist. I think that journalists are going to have really interesting stories. It's going to be really fun to hear them talk about. Look, in Canberra, I guess if you find politics interesting, because that's what all the stories are going to be about. But if you work in Canberra, live in Canberra, surely you're interested in politics, right? So yes. I think she's going to be
a journalist in Canberra. You're covering politics.
Yeah, that's right. So I think then she's probably got sort of similar mindsets to what Andrew has working as economist, and also Sabrina. So there could be some strong connections here. I feel really good about Amy and the picks that I have. I like the diversity of picks I have so far.
Okay. Who's next?
It would be you.
Me. My next pick. Where did it? I am sticking on I guess the Canberra tribe. Yeah, I'm going with Oscar.
So are you also following my narrative about the Canberra tribe that you think?
No, I actually didn't. I just kind of picked as I liked them. Oscar is my next pick. I think the youngest of him, I haven't decided if that's a good or a bad thing, being the youngest member of this whole crew. But he grew up on a cattle farm. He's new to Survivor, so he's very well-versed in the world. He's like me, watched all of the US Survivors in lockdown and became a super fan that way. Physically dominant, wants to be strategically flexible, and his biggest strength is there's not much he won't say no to. So I think he's going to kind of be up for anything, which will be a lot of fun to watch.
Absolutely. Who is Jules going with her next pick?
Well, I have to scroll down a bit because we've taken all her next picks. So her next that she's got is Jay.
Okay.
Born in India, adopted by Australian parents, thinks he's a villain, but he's a big puppy dog. He wants to manipulate and lie. So I think she must be interested in that dynamic. I mean, he's pick 10 for her. So we're down the list for Jules.
I like Jay. Like, if I was picking a man from the Weld tribe that wasn't Eden, and, you know, assuming my Eden narrative doesn't eventuate in the way I think it will, I think that Jay is like the next best man to pick for this season and from this tribe. I think that he's got a lot to offer physically and socially and strategically. I really like his vibe. I think that it's going to be a very positive one. I could see him, you know, outlasting Aiden and maybe John. It depends how he sort of rubs in with the rest of the tribe. But, you know, you know, we're getting down to the basic picks. And the only reason I wasn't looking at him earlier was simply because of the narrative that I'm thinking about.
You're building in your head. Yeah, fair enough.
Sorry?
They just like Jay's like down on my list too, but lower down. He just didn't. I think he's sort of particularly grabbed me. Let
me just look at his comments for a moment. What do I like about him?
He thinks he's self-submissive and cheeky. He recently broke into a caravan park.
Yeah, I wanted more information on that. Like, why? Why was he breaking? Like, was this his first shits and giggles? Do you want a criminal record? Like, it's the sort of shit you do when you're like 16, not however old he is, 20.
Yeah, that's it. His mantra will be to crush some souls, and he wants to remember to someone who played hard but fair. I'm like, how do you crush souls but be fair in that same process? I didn't get in. He wasn't my vibe.
Every single person in this cast thinks they're a villain, yet they all appear to be the nicest fucking people I've ever seen in my life. So it's going to be really interesting to see all these nice people become the villains the inner villain they want to let out. Mel was saying because caravan parks are expensive. He didn't make it clear that he was looking to stay in the caravan park. It was very unclear of the circumstances.
Yeah, he just broke in for shits and giggles.
That's what I felt. Okay, who is Jules picking with her last pick?
Jules is picking with her last pick is Aiden.
Oh, okay.
Nice. Yes. Yeah, sorry, because I know so many. Yes, Aiden is her next.
I don't feel good about Aiden, to be honest.
No, he was my last pick.
He's self-described. Look, his biggest strength, and this is it's going to be his biggest challenge in the game, is he's aware of his own shortcomings and how they might impact his ability to play this game well. He loves this game. He wants to perform well, and he knows that he can be a little bit introverted and awkward in meeting people and building friends. So he knows he's going to have to put himself out there and really make these connections. I just feel with someone like him, who's there maybe putting his hand out, trying to build that connection, and you've got Eden not being interested because he hates men and there's no interest in aligning with them, that's going to be very difficult socially.
Yes.
And right off the bat, like if you're trying to put yourself out there out of your comfort zone, you're getting slapped back like that. That's not easy. Not easy at all. So I worry for Aiden that my feeling is he could be the first boot.
And just like even when he was talking about the stuff that he does like, it was very just like it couldn't even rope me in on the stuff when he was talking about, you know, Morse code or how his friends describe him was still very monotone, very like not engaging, which just speaks into the fact that he just really struggles to like make connection.
He himself said that he sees that he's likely going to be in danger early.
Yes.
This is something he's identified. You know, we're identifying it, but I'm also hearing it from him. And you know, he says that if he wins, it's due to luck. Like if that's how you rate yourself, that you're only won because you're lucky, then you know, I just don't have the confidence to get there. I like the Morse code thing. I thought that was fun, and if you could find someone else that could do Morse code to communicate using that, though, I assume that would be against the rules. I assume.
Oh yeah.
Because in real Survivor, you're not allowed to speak in an alternate language.
Well, I mean, you're not meant to be able to like sign language either, yet they still do it on Australian Survivor. No.
Yeah, Australian Survivor has no rules. Whatever's good for TV is the Australians have rules. But an American Survivor, yes, you can. Don't forget when Mark just smashed the box.
Yeah, that's true.
There's no rules. It's just
I thought it was going to happen on the first episode of 47.
Yeah. What is it?
Yeah. So when he dropped the box down the thing, I was like, just smash it like Mark. I was like, just
Jeff Probst would not allow that.
I know, but in my head I was like, just surely that's smash. Surely you could just get the.
You would be off the show in a heartbeat if you try shit
There's
like
no
that.
more villains.
Yeah, well, you'd be off the show. Well, you've got a choice between John and Todd. Dani, where are you going with your final pick?
Let me just read my notes again. Sorry. You want to vamp for a bit while I double check what I want to do?
I think John might be Nick from season 2's dad.
He is.
They have the same last name. That's why I made this assumption.
It is. Yeah, I saw the comment on the video. That's Nick's dad. I mean, John's video himself didn't like grab me so much, but with advice from Nick and advice from Ma and the fact that he has to connect with people for his job, I liked that. But I think I'm actually going to go with Todd for my next pick. Where are my notes? Todd from Canberra. Yeah, like his hobbies include watching Survivor, so that's always good. He's a new dad, so I think he's all about making connections with other people, and having a 1-year-old daughter will help him, endear himself to others. He's a narrator of children's books, so I think he's actually going to be super funny. Not narrator of children's books. He reads children's books with big voices because he's a teacher. But I was very confused as to why he wants to lie about being a deputy principal. I don't think people would see that as being a strategic job on the outright. Like if you thought about it for a long time, maybe, but that was a very odd comment for me.
Yeah, I don't think it's anything that people are going to care about if you're a principal or a teacher. And I would assume he's had some teaching experience in the past. So he's able to communicate like that. And I assume that will allow him to build a bit of connection with
Exactly. Yeah, which is why I think I pick him over John.
I would have liked to have gotten Todd here. Todd, because Todd, I think, is probably the most like me on the cast. I feel like, he's trying to play down who he is a bit. I think he said, if I look at my notes again, that
his enemies would label him as arrogant and conniving.
Yeah, that sounds like it.
He considers himself to be very competitive, but not a clear-cut hero or villain.
They asked him what his favorite book to read to his kids was, and he chose the Crayon book.
I just read the Crayon book, and then he started making the voices. I loved it.
Yeah,
I was like, yes!
There's a number of those Crayon books. It's a series, and as going, when you have to read kids their books, some are better than others, and there's Crayon books that are in the top tier. So I liked that. I liked he wants to make day one connections and day two moves. I think that's a good plan.
Yeah, I agree.
I think being on this tribe is going to allow him to do that. So I'm disappointed that you didn't go the other way. If I'd snuck Todd in as the last pick, I would have been very pleased. But it means that I get John as the last pick. Now, other than my narrative, I think that this guy could go a long way if the narrative goes right for him. I think there's the potential that he's the least targeted man of
I 100% agree. Yes.
Of Eden's all women plus Eden alliance.
Yes.
I feel like he's quite endearing and charming.
Yes.
I feel like being an older gentleman, he's not going to come across as sort of arrogant or threatening in the way that, I think there's if you're 50 as a man, you might come across as a bit like, oh, everyone needs to listen to me and I'm the boss and I've had all this life experience. But he's he's 61. He's ticked over into potential grandma territory. I'm not putting thoughts into Nick and Ma's head, but tipped into potential grandma territory. And he's got the grey hair, and I think he's can give off potentially that likable grandpa vibe more than
I completely agree. Yeah,
the dickhead 50-year-old CEO vibe potentially. And I think if you can give off that vibe, then I think that could be one of the men. When Eden says, "I don't like men and I want to work with women," I think he's thinking more of your Aidens and your Jays, and he's got
Yes.
John in his head when he makes that statement. So I think he would also be thinking about Oscar, Todd, and Ed as well. But I think that from his tribe, those are the guys he's thinking about. So I don't hate it. I don't think he's going to be the first boot. And as Mel said here, he's not Nick's dad. He's Mars's fiance's dad. Because Mar, of course, beat Nick in Canberra season 2. And so therefore, she has all rights of dominance, including claims to his father as her fiance's father and not simply Nick's father. Thank you for that comment, Mel. So wrapping up the picks, why don't you tell me how you feel about how you've done now that it's all come out? You have Todd, Oscar, and Lauren from the Canberra tribe, and you have Bethany and Maddie from the World tribe.
I'm happy with my picks. I feel like they're all very social players who have a little bit of strategy behind them, but enough to build connections that are going to get them deep into the game. I don't feel like any of them, outside of Lauren and Bethany, who are just my, out there women, I think if they can rein that in a little bit until, day 2, that will stead them well. I'm happy with my picks. I think it's a strong social team with strategy backing.
Jules has picked up Sabrina, Pauline from Yellow, and Squin, Jay, and Aiden from the.
That's a strong crew too.
Well, I think it's top is strong. I think Squin, Pauline, and Sabrina are strong.
Yes.
But my narrative, and look, to be fair, Jules wasn't here to be spun into the web of my narrative. And so, maybe if she was here, it picks that she'll be watching this when she's recovered from her migraine, going, "Fuck, I don't want these players." But maybe I've made up a complete nonsense, and that's not.
No, I know. I agree with you. I think that those first couple of picks are great, and then the bottom half of that's. Yeah.
I have gotten Ed, who I feel really strongly about, and Andrew, who, look, maybe I should have saved him for later, but I was worried someone else would steal him. And I hate it when I do a Survivor draft and there's someone I love and they're not on my team. And then I get really, I have real, stress watching the show because I want to root for them, but that's not a good outcome for me financially or in the sense of the pride of winning this competition. So I have this real mix of I want them to do well, but I don't have them in my team. So I just got to have them. Andrew was amazing.
I think it would have been okay because I had him. He was my 5th pick and Jules' 6th pick. I think it would have been okay if he didn't go first, but that's.
Could have had Squin. Regardless, it's fine. I'm looking forward to the ride, and I'm not so worried about that these played one of these LRGs before. I'm not looking at this card. Look, this is the thing. Even people that are in the community that have been in these LRGs, there's very few of us that have watched them all, right? Yes. And then Canberra 3, even though it was higher than Canberra 1 in the podcast, is, in my opinion, probably Backyard 3 is probably the worst season of Backyard. So I don't know how many people, in terms of an entertaining thing, Andrew is amazing in it, but everyone else is sort of a bit So I just don't know how people watched it. If someone here has watched it and they know what he plays like and they have a problem with it, then he's in trouble. But I think that's a lot of steps. If you know he's in it, who cares? You've watched it. Okay, you know what he's like. I think you're more likely to see him as a shield.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you've seen him play, you just have put him in front of you the whole way for a while.
No one's letting him get to the end. He just talks way too well. He's so eloquent and so the way he argues and convinces people is unbelievable. But I feel like he struck a bit of lightning and got lucky. So it could go badly. Mel asked, who the hell hasn't watched them all? I don't know a lot of people, Mel. I think only the Orcas here are in a special boat now, having pushed through all these seasons. And of course, then I also have Amy, as well as who I feel good about if she gets the time to lock in. And I particularly want her to lock in with Eden later. And then I feel really good about Anthea, who I have on the tribe. John, I've talked about it, could be good. I feel like this draft hasn't gone exactly the way I would have hoped, but I guess that's the danger of picking third and the randomizer. So it could be me that's buying the dinner. We'll always have to see. But I do feel perhaps the biggest mistake I made was on the fly calling that I would come to Canberra and put on drinks for people. If the people's champion, then yet unpicked, made the top 3, I'm very concerned about him making the top 3. I think he's a lock for top 5 at the very least, right?
Yeah.
And
I love who just annoys people really quick and flames out like that. He's too. If he plays too hard.
I think he's going to annoy people, but I think he's going to start annoying people at just the wrong time for me, like mid-merge, where people are like, this guy's sort of annoying and he's doing like strategic stuff that I don't like, but no one's going to vote for him. So let's just like direct on.
Yeah, right, yeah.
That's when I feel like people are going to get sick of him. It's not going to be at the start, and it's going to be an unfortunate circumstance. But you know what? If the worst case of this is I go to Canberra, take a tour of the Parliament, take a tour of the War Memorial, and take all the lovely people from the Canberra community out to a drink, it's not the worst thing that could happen to me in the world.
I might have to drive down for that.
Oh yeah, well now I'm paying for the Sydney community too. All right, well, whatever. Like, sure, come along. The more the merrier. Whatever. Thank you, Dani, for joining me for this and for having Jules' notes. That was very useful. I thought it was just going to be you and me doing a draft. And what's the 2-person draft? It's a bit lame.
No, so, she said a note. She was prepared.
Thank you for that. Thank you for everyone that was here live. Loved having you live. Drinks, I thought. Yeah, like there'll be a tab, Aston. Calm down. Like, I'll work out the numbers and there'll be a sensible tab. At least $1,000, okay? At least $1,000.
Oh, Eden. Now, baby, I am rooting for you as the people's champion.
At least $1,000 on the bar. Right? There you go. That's what I'm offering. He's really is the people's champ now. He's going to be loving it. Like, he's going to have so much support.
He's going to fucking love this too, the fact that you've done this. I feel like his personality is just going to be like, yes.
Well, it wasn't me. I spun the wheel and, luck be a lady tonight. Thank you, everyone, for here. It was live. Thank you, Mel. Yes, we wanted it to be fun. It was fun and zany, and that was the goal. It starts Friday. I'm excited. And then join us for our coverage of the show every Wednesday at this time. The official On Brand podcast, I believe, will be on Mondays. And then we will have our podcast where we can say the things they can't say because we're not officially branded to the program. Hopefully we'll have all the boots for interviews as well. And, this is it's a special time for the Canberra cast, because only in Canberra do you get to be interviewed twice on your boot week. It's like you really are a Survivor star where they do, various
podcasts. Absolutely. Look at you guys go.
Maybe we start to do some written interviews as well. So very exciting for the season. I'm sure everyone who's watching this is going to watch it on Friday. But if you're watching this later, make sure you tune in, watch the On Brand, and then join us for the Off Brand, the ORCA pod, every Wednesday night, gearing up for the next episode. I can't wait. Thank you to Dani. Thank you to Jules. Thank you to everyone in the chat. And also, of course, we all need to stand whether we have them in our draft or not. And you do. Lauren, who was the official cast member here live, commenting live. Lauren, we are right behind you.
Lauren, let's go, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm behind you too. You're here live and you're coming to get special props for that. If you're watching this after, as we know people do, thank you for that. And we thank you for your support. We look forward to seeing you next week when we cover the first episode. See you then.